Hello FlightSimmers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new full flight video here on the TJ Pilot channel. And today we are flying the Singapore Airlines 737, which I find is quite an interesting choice of aircraft, since Singapore Airlines, of course, for a very long time being famous for only operating long-haul aircrafts, but I think now since a couple of, maybe it's already 1 or 2 years, they have started to get 737s into their fleet, and I think now there are 10 of them doing some short-haul operations. And I thought that's a very good opportunity to check out the rather new Phuket scenery, which has been released by, I think it's called WTFlightsim. I think some sort of new developer, but the scenery looks quite promising. So I'm very much looking forward to get over to Phuket and check out that new destination for us. And yeah, we are sitting here at rather empty Singapore, but we are flying online, and even at the moment there is ATC online, so maybe if we're lucky they stay online for another half an hour or so, and then we have a nice ATC coverage, at least here in Singapore. And yeah, comparing this to the action of the cross to pond, this is really something yeah, I'm looking forward to now, a bit more of a chill action here. And yeah, you can see really nothing around here. Right, but yeah, and then also today we are starting from cold and dark. That was one of you guys asking it in a comment below one of the videos if I could start a 737 from cold and dark. And I thought, yeah, that's actually a very nice idea. I haven't done this myself in a long time, so also for me this is a nice bit of practice now to start from cold and dark. So let's get to it. Right, so here we are, and as you can see, it's very silent. Everything being dark. It's just the FMC on for the ground connections. Of course, we have ground power connected, and then first of all, we will put on the battery, close the cap, and then since ground power is already available, we put it to on like that. Right, and other than that, we don't need to do too much here right now, or the window and probe heats can stay off for the moment. We can already arm the emergency lights, also close that cap. And nav lights are on, that's very good. Right, so apart from that, there's not much to do. Now there's, I guess here at Singapore, we don't have the temperature yet, but I guess it's rather warm outside. So we do want some air conditioning in the aircraft, of course. There are now two ways of doing it. We could get the air conditioning unit, which I think is the more realistic way at big airports. So we will get this one in place. The other option would be to have the to kick on the APU and then start the packs. But I think usually at these big airports they have the air conditioning unit connected to the jetway. There's usually a box below this jetway for the air conditioning. I'm not sure if it's handled like this here in Singapore, but yeah, there's definitely a solution for that. Right, and now I think it just takes a few moments until the displays are coming to life. Right, so now the displays are alive, and also the air conditioning unit is connected. Yeah, now we can see that the temperature is nice and cold in here. If we go to the forward cabin, it should be decreasing now. So we can monitor it. Outside temperature is 27, so that's why it was like a little bit warmer. But now, then, since the air conditioning is on, it should come back. Right, and then we do the IRSs, which are up here. We put them to nav. And now is also a very good time to set the altimeters already, which are local 1009er on hectopascals. 1009er, like that. Right, and now I usually go ahead and do all the loading. So we have fuel to, oh, that's in pounds, that's not good. And also I think I just saw there's, yeah, I need to install the EFB, that's over here somewhere. Aircraft equipment. EFB like that, and then we said we want to have kilograms which is also under options, I think. It's always a bit of searching. Displays, maybe. Yeah, last page of displays, kilograms. Cool. Right, back to FS actions. Fuel. So today we have a fuel. By the way, flight time is 1 hour 29 minutes, so not too long of a flight. Fuel we have 7791. And in terms of payload, I usually just do the zero fuel weight, and that's 60.3 today. Nice load level of 88.2% here. Right, then FMC. In order to align the IRSs, we need to copy the position. We can also enter the airport here and the gate, which is Bravo 3, but very often this does not work. In this case it does, which is very cool. So now you can see the GPS position is actually the same as the gate position, so we can take either of those, put it in there. Right, and then I am connecting the D-Link, so going from Singapore to Phuket, which is Victor Tango Sierra Papa. And estimated time of departure, so now it's 01:44, let's just go 2 o'clock. That's not too important what you put here. Time en route 1:29, and Singapore is Sierra Quebec, and the call sign is Singapore Airlines 728. Like that. This gets connected and it takes a few seconds until it's all synced up. Yeah, and after some time it goes to D-Link active, and then we know it's in there. Right, now we all automatically have the airports in here, so we can request the flight plan, which is this one. I've stored that in the folder previously, so downloaded from SimBrief and then stored it in the 737 flight plan folder. And then it's all in here, which is very cool. And then we hit load, and then it loads in the route. And we can activate it. Next page, and we see all the waypoints and the jetways in here, so really, really cool. Right, and now before we continue on anything on the setup, I think it's a good time to get in contact with ATC in case it's online as today, so we can call up the delivery frequency, which is 12165. And then we can see if we can get the clearance. Changi delivery, very good day from Singapore 728, information echo, requesting clearance to Phuket.
Singapore 728, Singapore delivery, good evening. Information echo is correct, stand by for clearance number 1.
Okay, standing by for clearance, very good. Yeah, and then on the ATIS information it said initial climb is 3000 for Singapore 728, go ahead.
Singapore 728, you are cleared to Phuket via the Aroso 2 Aqua departure, runway 02 left, flight level 360, squawk 0161.
Cleared to Phuket via the Aroso 2 Echo departure, runway 02 left, and squawk 0161, Singapore 728.
Singapore 728, confirm flight level 360.
Flight level 360 for Singapore 728.
Singapore 728, read correct. Contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good day.
123.7 for Singapore 728. Thank you very much. Good day. Right, so that's the clearance. Yeah, I saw that on the chart somewhere. It said that
Singapore delivery, Singapore 862, information echo, requesting departure clearance to high-tech.
okay, somewhat traffic, very cool. Yeah, and I saw that on the charts that here on the clearance they also issue the flight level, which is 360, but nevertheless we put in 3000 initially. Right, then over here we can initialize the flight and first go to terminal charts. Airports are in there, edit clip, and now let's see what we want. So 10-9 Bravo would be nice, since it has our gate. There's so many charts here, parking base, yeah. And then the departure, Arosa to Echo, which is 10-3 Golf. 10-3 Golf, that is. So departing 0 to left, initial heading 023 to Topham above 2000, and then Atrum, Acoma 7000, Akmet 11,000, Eroso. And yeah, fairly straightforward, I guess. We will anyway be in contact with radar already, so that's fine. Transition altitude 11,000. So let's put this in. So 023 on the heading. And then we can continue down here. So performance, we can request the performance. That's also coming from the uplink, which is very cool. Load that in as well, like that, and this usually fits rather well. So cost index 18 is fine, reserves 3.3, that's also fine. Cruise level 360, we have to amend that. And transition we saw on the charts is 11,000. Okay, very good. Then departure, runway 02 left, Aroso to Echo departure. And then also we can load in the wind. So maybe that was a bit fast. Select route data request. And now this is only working, I think, if Active Sky has winds, or whatever weather engine you use, I guess. It has needs the flight plan in there, and also the D-Link needs to be active. I think that's the way it works. I'm not too sure though. Okay, load in as well. Execute, very cool. And then we have a nice estimate on the arrival fuel 4.3, so that's plenty as well. Okay, now it's not going to be too long until we get off the gate, so let's fire up APU like that. And I think they usually put this fuel pump on if you want to run the APU, so the after one on the left hand tank. And then also seatbelts, let's give them a chime. Cruise level 360. Landing altitude, now that's for the departure airport first, and that's 0. Singapore is at sea level. And I'm not bothering about GSX boarding today, since I mean the aircraft is loaded as soon as we put in the weights on the FMC, so yeah, we don't really need GSX. But we need to do the performance. So 02 left, and let's quickly have a look at the chart. I think that's better. Okay, so we are somewhere. We're somewhere over here, and I guess we're gonna get Whiskey 8, Whiskey 9, and that's a huge runway, and we are light 737, so performance today is not gonna be much of an issue. And usually what we can do, when you go to NOTAMs, you can insert a shortening of the runway if you want to calculate for intersections. But today, I think we're gonna be fine from any intersection really. So I'm gonna be a bit inaccurate here and just go with the standard things. Show keyboard. Okay, so winds are 320 at 6. 261009, and then we go weight and balance. And just read from aircraft. And now the fuel calculation is a bit off, but we can enter the trip fuel. Now that's again in pounds, super annoying. So system page, application preference, kilograms, and again weight and balance, and trip fuel is 4 tons. And then landing fuel should be good. So takeoff fuel takeoff weight 68.089, that's fine. Thrust rating, takeoff, optimum, aircon is on, anti-ice off, calculate. Okay, so that's giving us a flap 5 and select temperature of 51. So we get to N1 limit, 51, and 93.5, 93.4. Yeah, that's close enough. I think the difference is coming from that currently the packs are off, the APU is not supplying the packs, so that's the reason. And then on the climb, we can do it a bit manual. I think it's a good idea. So if we go to legs page, we can see that here we want to be above 2,000, above 7,000, above these levels. So that's not going to be an issue. You can see at Addons we are already above 8,000. So that's not an issue. And I think also the 2,000 is not an issue. If you want to check where your aircraft think it's going to be, you just go to delete it out, but don't execute it. And then you can just wait and it calculates where it's going to be. And then we can erase it again. You have the constraint back. So it's all fine. We can also go climb 1 or maybe even climb 2 then. But let's go climb 1 today. I think that's a good middle value here. Right, and then takeoff. So flap 5, center of gravity. Just click it once, click it twice. It's in there. And then, ooh, that's weird. 139, 144, 148. 139. We could go to the next page and enter the correct wind data, and then the values should come closer together. So 320 at 6 deletes your takeoff speeds, but then if you go back, see now it's the same as on the calculation. So super straightforward. And then 148 is coming in here, and then we put the flight directors, auto throttle, VNAV, LNAV. I'm seeing it still has the old MCP here, which I can't imagine Singapore Airlines has. Maybe this livery is not configured correctly, but never mind. Now we're going with this one. Okay, very good. Now we are really getting there. And yeah, what we will do now, I think it's time for the pre-flight checklist. So oxygen. Tested 100%. Navigation and transfer switches are normal auto. Window heat is it's off. Sorry, it needs to be on. Like that. Pressurization mode selector is on auto. The flight instruments heading 100, 100, and altimeter is 1009, and 1009 is checked. And parking brake is set. Engine start levers are cut off. Pre-flight checklist is completed. Right, and now we will make sure that the APU is running. So it is. So we can put APU generator to on. Ground power is then automatically released. And yeah, now you can see also temperature came down a bit. And now we can do a couple of things. So first I want to make sure the jetway is disconnected.
Ready for taxi.
And by the way, this I usually turn off since I don't need it. Oh, I still need to set this squawk. Completely forgot.
Romeo 7, Sierra, Whole Shot, Whiskey 10. Taxi via Romeo 7, Sierra, Southwest 2, Whole Shot, Whiskey 10. Singapore 862.
Okay, then back to the FS actions, ground services, release air conditioning, release ground power, and remove the wheel chocks. Right, and now going back to the overhead, we can see that air conditioning now is not longer running. We need to put the packs to auto. And now you can also hear air is coming back into the aircraft again. Right, and then we can configure for pushback. So yaw dampers coming on, the fuel pumps are coming on. Today we don't have any fuel in the center tank, so we don't need the center fuel pumps. Then we have always going like from top left to down, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, like that. And probe heats can come on now. Anti-ice we don't need. We have the hydraulics coming on, and this is all looking good. And then the beacons like that, and then we can ask for pushback. Cool. And now the before start checklist. Flight deck doors close and locks. Fuel, we have 7.8 tons on board and fuel pumps are on. We have passenger signs on as well. We have the windows locked. MCP is set. V2 initial heading and altitude. The V speeds are done. V1, VR, V2. And we have the CDU pre-flight completed. Rudder and alien trim is 3 and 0. And taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Anti-collision lights are on. Before start checklist completed. Okay, now first we need to call for pushback. Singapore radar, good day from Singapore 728 at stand Bravo 3 at Changi, requesting push and start. Push and start approved, facing south, Singapore 728. Okay, so facing south, this means that we need the tail to the left. Release parking brakes, and the lock time is coming on.
Clear for takeoff, runway 02 left, Singapore 862.
Right, and so we are moving. Now I heard on the frequency someone is about to take off. Why can I not see any aircraft? It's weird. There's a Korean Air 777. Okay, never mind. Let's fire up those engines. Okay, so over here, first of all, we need to put the packs to off, since we now need the bleed air for the engine start, and then we put the start of the engine number 2, the right engine, to, I think it's ground, GRD, I think it's ground, I don't know what else, although ground does not make much sense, does it? Okay, I have to admit I have no idea what it means. Okay, now here on this display we see the N2, we wait for 20%, which is now, and then we put in the fuel, and the engine is starting up. Ooh, there's the departing aircraft. Oh, 747, beautiful. long liftoff. Why are the speed brakes deployed? That's weird. Okay. Right, so we just heard the starter cut off, so it's jumping back to off, and now we can start the first one. Parking brakes set. Yeah, and also on the charts of Singapore, I read that transponder is supposed to stay in standby as long as we are on the ground. So that's a bit different from other airports.
Singapore 862 airport. Singapore 62 identified, climb 3,000 feet. Continue climbing 3,000 feet, Singapore 862. Singapore 862, identified, climb 8,000 feet. 8,000 feet, Singapore 862.
Okay, starter cutout on the number 1 engine. Okay, so I think in reality now pilots will wait 2 or 3 minutes before switching off the APU and putting the packs on. I usually do it just right away, saving some time. So now in the 737 we have to be careful to not just kill the APU. First we have to put on the generators of the engines, like that, and then we are good to kill the APU. And now the pack is coming back to auto, the isolation valve as well. And APU bleed doesn't matter, we can leave it on or off. Since APU is not running, it does not make any difference. I think it's easier to just leave it on. Right, so everything good up here. Ooh, there's rain. Okay, I did not see that coming. Maybe we need to double check the takeoff calculations. But first of all, the after start flow. So this is coming to RTO. We have a takeoff trim 5.38, so we need to trim it up a bit. This is very slow here in the 737. Okay, around there we have takeoff flap setting of flaps 5. Like that, and then we go to system and we do the flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and the rudder full left, full right is checked. Back to the engine page. Okay, and then the before taxi checklist. The generators are on, ProPeat is on as well, anti-ice is off, not required, isolation valve is on. Auto recall is checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers are idle, and flight controls checked, ground equipment is clear. Right, and then we can already complete the before takeoff checklist as well. So flaps are set position 5, and stabilizer trim is 5.3 units. Before takeoff checklist completed. Okay, now let's ask for the taxi, but then I will go back to the calculations. Singapore 728 ready for taxi.
Singapore 728, taxi via Victor 7, Whiskey, holding point Whiskey 9. QNH 1009.
Taxi via Victor 7, Whiskey 9, QNH 1009, Singapore 728. Okay, cool. So parking brake, and we put in a bit of power, and now very quickly just change it to wet. Calculate again, and I think it just changes V1. It should at least. So same over here if we go to the next page, and now we can enter wet. Again, the speeds are deleted, but that's no worries. So that's 131, 144, 148. Okay, very simple. That's good. Yeah, I also have an. I should mention I have an iPad standing next to me, also with the charts, and that's super helpful. So we can, for example, for the taxi clearance, makes it a bit easier. So he cleared us out. Victor 7. Here it's called Victor's. Victor 7. Okay, sorry, now I'm lost. I know that here at Changi they have changed the taxiway designation. Yeah, so that's Victor 7. Here on the scenery it's named Victor 6, but in reality it's Victor 7 now. So we are going down Victor 7, then down on Whiskey, and then all the way to the end of the runway. And now I'm just remembering, I forgot the taxi lights. Like that. Okay, and also for the departure, those go to continuous. The starter switches are on continuous. Okay, left-hand turn now. I don't know why the engines are so aggressive today. Just putting them up a notch and it really goes crazy. Okay, so now since we're taxiing, I usually take the time to set my navigation display. So we set traffic and weather. And since terrain is super boring here, I will set weather over here as well. Zoom that out a bit more. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, look at this, guys. That's a bit of weather around. Okay, now I'm just a bit unsure when we are supposed to set on the transponder, but I think I will do it now. I guess it's a good time. I mean, before we get onto the runway for sure. Singapore 728 fully ready on Whiskey 9.
Singapore 728, wind calm, runway 02 left, just for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 02 left, Singapore 728. Okay, we are cleared for takeoff, so all the landing lights are coming on, turn off lights as well. This goes to strobe and steady. And we are all set for the departure. So I guess we can do a rolling start today. It might get a bit bumpy on this departure. I think it will. Okay, starting the timer. And off we go. Power to around 50% and 1. And take off. Now, if we want to be very accurate, we would set the course and the ILS frequency in case we need to come back to this airport. But I'm usually too lazy to do it. But the correct way would be to set it. V1 and rotate. Okay, nice and slow rotation up to 10 knots, and we're airborne, and then we can pull a bit more. Gears coming up. Okay, nice. Looking very good. Yeah, it's a bit bumpy, but it's okay. Up until now, at least. Okay, now we could already put on the autopilot, but we can also hand fly a bit. Acceleration altitude, so climb power, bring the nose down, giving the aircraft the chance to speed up. Singapore 728, airborne, passing 2,200. Continue climb 8,000, Singapore 728. Okay, so continue climb 8,000 feet, and now it's really bumpy. And now we can put on the autopilot as well. It should be pitching down a bit more. Wow, that's really bumpy now. It should be pitching down a bit more in order to speed up. Meanwhile, the gear lever can come to off.
Singapore 728, climb flight level 200.
Flight level 200, Singapore 728. I think the autopilot is actually struggling with the turbulence. So I'm just gonna hand fly a little bit. Okay, flaps 2 and flaps 1. Coming into the left-hand turn and flaps up. Okay, now it's smoothing out a bit. Okay, then we have the turn off and taxi lights coming back. I'll leave the ignition on continuous as long as we're going through this bad weather and the turbulence. And then we can complete the after takeoff checklist. So, engine bleeds are on, packs are on auto, landing gear up and off, and flaps are up, no lights. After takeoff checklist completed. This is going to to off. So the autopilot is really struggling a bit today. And now we're going to another cloud. Maybe I should have asked for vectors to go around this. Yeah, I think we are about to go through the thunderstorm. So that's for me a good point to switch into music and cruise mode, guys. And yeah, see you back for hopefully a nice landing into Phuket. Enjoy! Alright, captains, welcome back to the flight deck. We are descending towards Phuket and yeah, just about to pass 10,000 feet, which by the way is below transition level, which I've said already. Local altimeter is 1009. So yeah, let's talk about a few things here. First of all, the arrival route. Today we are landing runway 09 and we are coming in from Urgat, where we should be just now, any second. Below 10,000, and then we have a few restrictions here. So Rawai 230 knots above 4,000, and then Kalim maximum 200 knots above 4,000. And then the cool thing about landing this direction is It does not have an ILS. There's only a or one of the options is an RNP arrival, which we're doing today. So from LASAM we are on the final approach into runway 09, which is just on the ocean. I think it's a pretty cool arrival into Phuket. Very much looking forward to that. And yeah, then one thing we can note here, so RNP arrivals, the minimums are sort of important. We have LNAV, VNAV available. Minimums are 870, which we will dial in on the barrow. If it's not that bumpy, it would be easier. It's a bit of turning here, I'm afraid. Oh, come on. It's taking forever. Okay, 8. What was it? I think 70, right? Oops, might have been parsed. 870? 870, very good. Yeah, we will talk a bit more about this altitude in a second. Let's then continue with the descent checklist. So pressurization is set at 0 since Phuket also has the sea level. Very easy in that case. And then we have the recall. Let's check. We have auto brakes. Yeah, it's a 3-kilometer runway, so auto brake 2 will do today. And then we have VREF and minimums. So minimums we've set 870, and VREF, let's check. We go to init. Flap 30 is the standard config for the 737, and if not specifically required to do flap 40, come on, that's then we can always do flap 30. So that's what we are doing today. I don't even know why it's requiring drag. I mean, it's not even at idle power, so I think it's doing good. And approach briefing completed. Yeah, sort of. So if we need to go around, we climb 2500 on runway heading, and then right turn to Genoa and hold there at 4000. So, and what we will do on the ILS, so sorry, on the RNP, since we don't have an ILS, we don't need to worry about setting any frequencies for the ILS, and also not the course. What we will do is we will simply stay in VNAV LNAV mode, and we will set altitude of 900. Since we can't set it to 870, we set it to as low as we can get to this, which is gonna be 900. And so at 900 we of course need to make our decision, and we then need a visual on the runway in order to continue. But this should be okay today, so let's quickly check the weather. Variable winds at 2 knots, good visibility, light rain, few clouds. Okay, few clouds at 1000 feet. Now 1000 feet and 900 feet, very close together, so we might in fact get unlucky, and then if we don't have a visual on the runway, there's no other option but to do a go around. I'm just checking what other arrivals are there. I think there's an ILS on 27. Yeah, so let's do that. In case we don't have a visual on the runway and we need to go around, then we do an ILS from the other direction. Since winds are only variable at 2 knots, it's fine. We can easily do that. So that's our backup plan here. Although ILS decision heights are also fairly high, 550, 540. Also quite high, 3.2 degree glide. Yeah, interesting arrival. I think it's coming in over a bit of terrain there, so that's why it's a bit steeper. But yeah, anyway, we will do the RMP first, see how it goes. Right, we are below 10,000 lights. Also now with the chop going on, I'm gonna put those back to continuous. Yeah, the aircraft is speeding a bit with the turbulence going on. Somehow it's not really willing to pull back to idle, which is weird. Okay, and regarding ATC, now we are on a Unicom, and maybe we can already have a look at the airport to see what's down there. Yeah, so we are coming in on 09, just over the beach, and then we will exit Foxtrot, taxi down Papa back to the parking, and then finally get a nice parking stand. Right, so that's that for the arrival planning, and now we just need to get there, I guess. Alright, coming into Kalim, and then we turn on the final approach. Now we are at 230 knots, which was the first constraint. Now it's going down to well, it wants to go down to 200, but it's only going to 210, and that's due to flaps. You see there, it's the restriction flaps. So we go flaps 1. And see, now it's even going further down. But still being restricted by flaps, so we go flaps 2. Yeah, I don't know what speed it does want to go now. Okay, so now we are past 4000 as well, going down on the profile, and now it's a nice long final of 15 miles. Now the thing is, I know that in the Airbus we could hit the approach mode now. I'm not sure what's happened in the Boeing. Enough, does it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we hit it, and then we sort of get a... It's the same indication as we get on the ILS. Basically, super straightforward. Okay, flaps 5. Okay, 12 miles to run. But I have the feeling this indication is a little bit off, to be honest. Or it might be okay. Actually, on the charts we can see there's a bit of a bend. I'm quickly showing you. So this is not as steep as this. So the 3-degree descent path starts at this waypoint. So I expect the indication to come in by the next waypoint. Let's see how this works out. I don't want to go slower than that right now, so I'm just staying at flap 5. Right, and then we just need to get a visual on the runway at some point. In the meantime, approach checklist altimeter set 1009, and we can arm the speed brakes already. Engine start switches are continuous already. Okay. Yeah, there's the indication coming in. Very nice. 8 miles to go. Okay, let's go flap 10. And check the speed. 147 plus 5 makes it 152. Ah, there's the runway. Very good. Very good. Okay, 7 miles to go. Six miles. Gear down. That's a little bit early, but let's go ahead. Gear down. Okay, and now we are... Yeah, that's even better. Forgot about this feature. So now we are established on the glide path, which is basically just doing the same as an ILS now. Just the minimums are a bit higher, but we have discussed that. And now we can go flaps 15. Speed 160. Oh, we can also fully slow down now, so 152 actually. 152. Okay, and flaps 30, and then landing checklist. Engine start switch is continuous, speed brakes are armed, landing gear is down, and flaps are 30. Green lights, landing checklist completed. Right, turn off and taxi lights. runway inside. This is coming up to 4,000 now, the go-round altitude, and you can see we're still staying on the VNAV. Very cool. It's like a little bit of offset to the runway. That's why it's not an ILS. Okay, minimum's coming up. I will
1,000.
take the throttle and take the aircraft, my aircraft.
Minimums.
Continue. Looking very nice. It's even raining a bit, but that's a beautiful arrival. And currently, I think there's not too many flights, not so many international flights going into Phuket. But at the peak times before Corona, there were like 747s, 777s from all over the world going in here. So very cool flight opportunities as well. Yeah, so that's the beach, although a little bit steep.
100. 50. 30.
Retard.
20. 10.
And come on, using a bit of rudder. That was a bit of a long flare, but we are down. Reverse. It's shaky like crazy here. Maybe I should change the camera shake a little bit. Okay, I guess that's Foxtrot then. Almost went past it. But let's get this one. Okay. So here we are, guys. Welcome to Phuket. Very nice arrival. Clean up. Yeah, a bit of a long flare. Touchdown rate is given at 118, so that's fairly nice. Flight time 131. And let's see, landing lights are coming off, turn-offs are coming off, this is coming off. Steady. Okay, pulling up the parking stance. We will get a gate 6544. Okay, gate is coming up over there. So let's turn the taxi lights off. And final turn. Okay, let's trust the marshaller today. I mean, it looks like he's positioned correctly, so chances are good that he's giving us a good parking. And a little bit more. There we are. Nice. Okay, parking brake. We have the APU running. APU generators are coming to on. APU bleed is coming to on, and then we can kill engines 1 and 2. Block time 146. And we have the fuel pumps. We leave one on for the APU. Then we have the hydraulics. The engine hydraulics are anyway coming to off now since the engines are shut down, so that's fine. Window heats, seat belts of course, and beacons. this is coming to open. Right, very nice. And the shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps are off, probe heat is off, hydraulic panel is set, flaps are up, parking brake is set, engine start. There's a cutoff weather radar. Oh, I still have it on. That's not too good. Forgot about that. And over here as well. And then transponder back to standby, of course. Like that. Okay, asking for deboarding. Okay, so I guess this is welcome to Phuket then, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this flight, and yeah, it actually turned into a little bit of a cold and dark startup tutorial, which I did not even intend that much, but yeah, you guys, you can make of it whatever you want. Now it's just out there. So thank you so much for joining me on this flight. This was, I think, a very chill and relaxed flight with nice ATC coverage along the way, and at the same time not too much traffic. Very nice flying, and yeah, that's the new Phuket scenery. I mean, looks good, right? And it's I think it's a very fair price, around, I think I paid like 11 euros in a sale, so that's very good value for money, I guess. So yeah, thanks everyone again. Hope to see you on the next flight as well. Take care. Bye bye.